Well, I guess today we're talking about the drone sightings over New Jersey again. My name is Zach Jordan, and today I'm joined by Dylan Baldwin and Joey Winsel.
Yeah, yeah. This would be our part two, our follow-up video to our first one, which I totally remember the name of.
Yes, we have some interesting news to share with everyone today.
Where should we start off at? I didn't make any points for this.
Well, I have some points here pulled up. There's definitely been some developments. Like if you want to pull over to my screen here, I can show some footage here of a strange drone that has basically got taken out by something in the sky.
Okay.
Now,
Okay, I think I may have heard of this one. I don't know if I saw the video or not yet.
yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
this
this
lady,
is the first one you sent me. This one was pretty interesting to watch.
so you have a drone here, what looks like a drone. It's got the FAA lights on it and really bad quality video, but you can see the orb there, orange orb.
Yeah.
Drone is starting to approach and get closer. She's doing a horrible job filming. She's talking about it, how she's really bewildered and everything, like you would be.
Yeah.
It gets closer and closer until we have a contact right there. It just gets really close to it, and now it starts falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
It went from red to green, and now once it's going down, it's red again.
I think that's because of the poor video quality and the like this distortion effect of bad quality videos of the
Yeah.
FAA regulation lights on the drone.
Was this it looks like maybe a Court Leap? Was that do you know if that's the original uploader or not?
Let's see. I don't know if it's the original uploader. I think it is though because it looks. I've
Okay.
seen a lot of the one videos repeating of this, and this one seems to be the least edited.
Okay.
Oh wait, Court Lease SP. Yeah, I see that. So it's not Refinery Life. But yeah, I thought that was definitely interesting. It definitely means like there's entities in the sky that are not related to each other. We have like what was clearly a drone and something else up there.
Yeah. Were we getting were one of us screen capturing that, or do we have a plan for that?
I have yeah, I was showing it on Discord.
I was watching it. Dylan, are you recording your screen?
No, but we have all the sources for it to go back and download the videos or record it.
Yeah,
Okay.
It was the quality through Discord ain't really all that good.
yeah, good point.
As long as we get the links to, uh, like our Discord or something, so we can refer back to it.
So I think the main thing being shown in that video is basically just that we have uh we have entities up in the sky. It's clearly something going on.
Yeah,
We don't It could be other foreign drones and our own drones. I don't know.
yeah. Like it could be something like that. I've heard of some people speculating that they are searching for something nuclear, like a bomb that's been lost.
Yeah,
Um, or some sort of radioactive material, but the radioactive material doesn't make as much sense to me. But I could see us maybe looking for a bomb if we lost one. But
and I actually have some more information about nuclear detection drones. I have a picture. Where is that here? Yeah, here it is. So I have here what looks like a picture of these nuclear HPGE detection drones,
yeah,
and or the XP4. Now they're about 13 feet wide, 6 feet long. They're literally the size of an SUV. So these are not
Yeah.
consumer grade.
So roughly the size of all the ones that people have been seeing.
Yeah, exactly. So, and another thing is these nuclear detection drones are being used for the first time in Ukraine. That's the first time they've been in a combat zone, ever since Russia has been threatening its dirty bombs.
Interesting.
And so they're already getting them out. And so you think they're doing some testing here then?
I think that they're also trying to gauge the public's reaction. They could be trying to gauge the public's reaction to these drones. Like, how are we reacting to these things flying around in our airspace? The one thing is we've got multiple officials saying that they're not threatening to the American public.
Yeah. Which is an odd thing to say without elaboration.
Yeah, but yet they're not willing to share anything else, or they don't know anything else. It seems like they don't know anything else. Another thing that I found on that was that we have got security experts basically saying that these drones could be part of a top secret government program that's secret even to the rest of our own government. And the purpose of which could be for a special access program, which is there to test different kind of collection capabilities, like collecting data from our phones or nuclear gamma radiation detection data. And I also have I found a study that was basically showing the technology. Yeah, here it is. Use of a drone-based gamma ray spectrometry system to access point or extended radioactive sources. So we know that we have the technology equipped on some drones to detect gamma ray radiation.
Yeah.
So that definitely could be something it is.
That seems to be a very large speculation, or a lot of people are thinking that's what it could be. And I think it's a very high probability of it being just that.
Yeah, I've heard of some people speculating about them looking for radium, but if you know anything about radium, gamma ray is something that you can detect at a far distance, but uranium mainly disperses alpha and beta rays, which are only detectable for a couple of feet. So it depends on what you're looking for, but if it's something with gamma rays, that is something that you could detect from the sky.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe there's someone smuggled the Hulk into the United States, and we're trying to find him.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, though, like, what do you guys think about the possibility of someone smuggling a nuclear device into our home country that our government's trying to locate?
To me, I feel like it would be easier to build one than to smuggle one in. It's not impossibly hard to get radioactive material, but I can't think of any. Go ahead, Dylan.
There's been radioactive bombs smuggled into the U.S. before. I've heard, I think it was 2003, where authorities intercepted a plot involving radioactive material intended for a dirty bomb. It's highlighted vulnerabilities in border security and the black market for hazardous substances. Hold on, let me look that up. 2003. And I think it's a terrible thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and another thing I found interesting is that all of the bridges and tunnels into and out of New York City are equipped with radiation detectors. So it might even be harder to smuggle into some of the big cities than you would think.
That's
Oh,
interesting.
yeah. So I guess it was.
NYPD years ago gave most of their 38 38,000, excuse me, police officers, belt-worn radiation detectors about the size of a pocket pager. They would beep and vibrate if they detected radiation nearby. I don't know if this is or my source here does the Hal Turner radio show doesn't know if they still deploy those devices, but they did at one point in the past.
Yeah, or they might just have them on standby. It may not be standard equipment, but
Yeah.
something they have in their arsenal.
So I think you're probably right that it'd be easier to build one rather than to smuggle one in.
Have you heard of any group? I haven't. That's why I'm asking. Have you guys heard of any groups of like radicals or anything in New Jersey or New York that would maybe be someone you? Is there anybody that would be a suspect in your opinion for having a bomb?
Beyond our own government? I don't think so,
Yes,
no.
beyond our government.
Yeah, and then of course we also have our own government basically saying that there was we have the Pentagon saying that the mystery drones over New Jersey are not US military and are not likely from any foreign or known enemy. Looking at my talking points right here. But yeah, so this I basically just kind of copy pasted some of these headlines, but
I'm impressed with how much you did. That's a lot of stuff.
there's I think probably the most interesting footage I found was this footage of a passenger airliner that we have someone who saw these orbs far above drone operational altitude. So they can't possibly be drones. So
Copy that video URL and send it again through Discord.
Dylan, are you sure you don't want to record your screen just for reference and where to put the video? Or are you pretty positive you're going to know where to stick that in? Because you won't have any context of when he pushes play or anything.
I won't need it. I'm super smart.
Okay.
So yeah, we have this video here of what is filmed from the passenger airliner, and there's multiple orbs off the side of this passenger airliner at very high altitude. I don't know. I don't have confirmation. Oh yeah, it was between 8,000 and 1,200 feet high, and it's unlikely that any commercially available drone would be able to hold station at that altitude.
Can you make it full screen so I get it? I want to get a better look at this a little bit more. Interesting. My first thought, of course, was ball lightning, but does not look like ball lightning, at least not from what I've seen. And ball lightning rarely stays. If it stays still, it quickly dissipates or disappears in some way.
Right, and you can clearly see these orbs moving in the background here.
Yeah, and I've only seen ball lightning go up or down. I've never seen it go side to side.
Yeah, so there's like just tons of them out there, and they're not even all the same. There's like we've got different colors, different sizes. They could be, further off or closer, but and they're all changing too. So what are these lights that are above drone operational altitude? They can't be drones.
So I was wondering for a second there until I was looking for one that was moving by without being in relation to the others, and I also just saw that they were behind the wing because I was wondering for a second if it was like imperfection in the glass.
Right.
You can obviously see like it's going behind the plane, and there are ones that are moving. It looked like they were all moving together for a little while.
But here looks really close, like it's right above the clouds. Maybe
yeah.
This one even closer. Holy crap! Yeah. Um, and this video goes on, like, we've got 7 minutes here, and this is only the part 1.
And they're
Yeah.
just staying right above the clouds too. Those are.
It's also interesting that they're that visible during the day.
Yeah. Now,
Well,
I have
whenever
managed
that
to
was.
find some more high definition footage of these orbs. If you want, I can go ahead and show that.
Sure. Yeah, like I said, I only had one note, and it was about, and I'm gonna butcher his name. I wrote it down, but Dr. Michi Hui, I think. You would recognize him if you saw him. He was on a lot of COVID interviews, but he was the one talking about the radiation. But I've pretty much covered the points he made about the radiation.
Yeah.
So feel free to keep going with your points.
Well,
Sure.
how do you
So,
spell his name?
Michio space Kaku.
Oh,
oh,
okay. Oh, hey, I know
Michio
that guy.
Kakao. Dude, I actually found that too. I had something to say about that. Hold on.
How do you say it?
Michio Kaku or Kakao? Kaku? I don't
Okay.
know how you say it.
It sounds, the first name definitely sounds right.
I
Michio
think this
Kaku.
is honestly just perfect example of how out of touch our media is, because he's calling these drones that are SUV sized, and he's saying that essentially they're consumer grade drones, which
Yeah,
I
it's
find
just
incredibly
crazy.
unlikely.
I have heard about like those planes you can buy to go to work and whatever is how they're advertised. Of course, you can't use them for that, but at the same time, like you can't just take those off from anywhere and whatnot, and they're not widely available to most people because they're like
Yeah,
$60,000, and
these
those are
these drones,
manned.
exactly, these drones are not widely available and they're expensive. People do not have access to these kind of drones. You can't just go and buy an SUV sized drone for a Saturday night outing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's what he's essentially saying in this video.
So, what do
yeah.
you think of these theories about the drones sniffing out potentially radioactive material?
Well, in my opinion, this whole crisis took place actually in September of last year. At that point, the government made a historic decision to make it legal for people who own a drone to fly them at night. Before, there were restrictions on the use of flying drones. But after that September decision by the government, everybody began to say, I have a drone. This is going to create a stampede. I can impress my friends. I can shoot drones out there. And that's what happened.
So he's clearly trying to say that these drones are consumer grade, they're run by consumers. We now have legality, like they changed the laws. We can now fly our drones at night. And he's
Yeah.
saying that everyone's just taking their drones out at night to scare everybody. And I think this is totally out of touch with reality.
Yeah, I think that some of them, like these three right here at night, it possibly could be consumer grade. But some
Definitely.
of the stuff that we're seeing at day, like those ones at day, nothing consumer grade, I think, would be able to be that bright. Because being that bright on a drone with a battery, you're not going to last that long.
Yeah,
Because
that's a good point.
Also, I'm pretty sure that's one drone right there.
Oh, that is?
I believe so. Like, play the video again and. Yeah, they're all sticking together and there's.
The radiation doesn't go very far. You're talking about alpha rays and beta rays, which only go a few feet. And so there's simply not enough radium to alert.
I think it might be a group of them. It could be controlled by one person,
Yeah,
though.
you can clearly see them flashing though, like the FAA regulation lights. And there's
Is
definitely
that a
some drones,
helicopter?
like consumer grade drones out there. People are now flying them at night since they can. I
Mm-hmm.
just think that there could be more. That it's not all. It could not. It might not be all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also we have Representative McCall
Going to pursue this. I know the House Intelligence Committee is having a hearing on
basically
this.
saying that these drones are
We need
Chinese.
to identify who is behind these drones. My judgment, based on my experience, is that those that are over our military sites are adversarial and most likely are coming from the People's Republic of China.
Do you think you'll be satisfied?
People's Republic of China. So that's what,
So
I don't know.
did you hear about how everybody was bringing up that balloon that apparently went over the U.S. like last year or
Yeah.
a long time ago? I thought that was at the time, like it was said to be China, and then I thought it was disproven that it wasn't China. It wasn't then confirmed it was China since then? Because I've heard a lot of people bring that up, like politicians and whatnot.
Right. They do like to blame China for a lot of things. I also am pretty suspicious of that. I don't think I think it's unlikely that we are dealing with foreign drones. I think they are either our own government or UAPs which originated from Earth or from out of Earth.
Yeah, I think I lean more towards a company, some sort of company, whether it's with government oversight or not, or possibly something unexplained like a extraterrestrial or extra dimensional or anything like that. But I think right now I'm leaning more towards some sort of, I don't want to say black ops, but unpublic facing company operation, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Definitely. Just a few things to get before I can show the best footage I have of the orb so far. We had a UAP hearing in our own Congress on the 13th of November this year, 2024. Now, we had some interesting witnesses there. The first of which, Dr. Tim Galladay, a retired Navy admiral, testified about a UAP encounter during a military exercise, basically where an unidentified object flew directly through the formation of a Navy plane formation. It completely broke right through the middle of it. You can go and see them talk about this in the Congress hearing. It's all in this hearing right here. The UFO hearing video shows white orb coming out of ocean off Kuwait coast. U.S. Congress told. I'm not going to start it because it's literally 2 hours and something long.
Yeah.
But there was also another witness that followed right after Dr. Tim, Luis Elizondo. Let me look up who he is real quick because we probably should know.
What does UAP stand for again?
Unidentified alpha projects.
No.
Aerial phenomenon?
Yeah.
Unidentified
Yeah.
aerial phenomenon.
For the viewers, it's just a different acronym the government's using for UFO, which is unidentified flying object. They don't, I guess, like the stigma or the attachments the media has made with a UFO, but it's still just something in the sky, unidentified. That's all
Yep.
that either of those mean. UFO doesn't necessarily mean alien or dimensional. It just means that we don't know what it is. So
Exactly. So Luis Elizondo followed, and who is Luis Elizondo again? I'll cut this part out. He's formerly employed by the United States Army Counterintelligence and office under the Secretary of Defense for Intelligence. According to Elizondo, he was the director of the now defunct Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, which was associated with Pentagon UFO videos.
is counterintelligence, is that where they try to keep things out of the public eye? Or what is counterintelligence?
I think so. I think it also has to do with, countering foreign intelligence, maybe even.
Okay.
Counterintelligence. is any activity aimed at protecting an agency's intelligence program from an opposition's intelligence service.
Okay.
So Luis Elizondo came. He was one of the witnesses at this UAP hearing, 13th of November, 2024. He asserted that UAPs are real and involve advanced non-human technology and monitor sensitive military sites worldwide. He also stated that both the U.S. and adversaries possess UAP technologies, and it's currently fueling a decades-long secret arms race.
Yeah, I've heard. I don't know if I watched the full 2 hours of that, but I know that he has for a long time requested what is that room called? I want to say it's like a clean room or a white room or something. It's where like you go through like 3 layers of security, and it's like basically a bunker, and like you can't take a phone in there. It's supposed to be like a secure place to talk about stuff. And he's requested that multiple times for Congress, for him to testify in front of them behind closed doors, and it's been shot down like 11 times, just being told like no, he can't talk about it.
And he was also, that's really true, and I have to wonder why they were denying that.
Yeah.
He was also one asking the question, why is the only point of contact for the U.S. government for any U.S. service personnel that had a situation involving a UAP where they had contact with a UAP? Why is the only point of contact for these service members a psychological warfare expert? There's the only point of contact is a psychological warfare expert. That's who you're sending these service members to after they have a UAP encounter. A psychological warfare expert.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If you see something, you're crazy.
Yeah. He continued, though. He confirmed that the U.S. government has conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs with the intent to reverse engineer the craft. He also acknowledged that some government employees have sustained injuries related to UAPs and are receiving compensation, though no further details were provided for that.
Yeah. I'm kind of interested, like, I would love to know in 30, 40, 50 years from now, whenever some of this information is actually more public, whether or not there is anything extraterrestrial, that's a question, but how elusive they are about the subject of just a UAP and the crash retrieval. Obviously, if China has some sort of experimental drone that can fly much faster than ours and it crashes, we're going to want to gather that and examine it. But it's not something we're willing to just say, oh yeah, we've gotten an experimental drone. No, you can't look at it. It's in our base.
Yep.
Instead, it's just like, oh, the drones are fine. It's safe, guys. Don't worry.
Yep.
Fine.
It's fine. Nothing to see here. Just continue on with your day. So he continued on still. He says in the hearing, we are talking about technologies that outperform even anything in our inventory, adding that if an adversary was running the tech and the US was not aware of it, that it would represent an intelligence failure that would eclipse that of 9/11.
Yeah.
So these UAPs have been witnesses and experts have reported that the USVs are displaying extraordinary capabilities, some moving faster than US submarines and performing maneuvers exceeding 3,000 Gs. For reference, fighter jet pilots can usually sustain a maximum of 8 to 9 Gs of force while they're flying in their airplanes, like doing intense maneuvers in the air.
And there's also a big difference because, like, the type of drones that these fighter pilots are seeing and the car-sized drones, those type of even military drones that size can probably get up to about 60, 70 miles per hour right now because they're made to go for at least 6 hours. Whereas our commercial drones, we have much smaller drones, and they usually only go max an hour or two. Now, those drones can go up to, like, I want to say I've seen 250 kilometers. I think that's what 120 miles per hour. They can get up to that speed really quick, but those don't have any equipment on them, and they don't have a long battery. So there's a big difference between like whenever a fighter pilot's like that shouldn't happen because he's seeing an aircraft the same size as his, and just one of our little remote controlled drones.
Right.
Something the size of an aircraft is going that speed. There's a lot of questions there.
Definitely. And we still don't know much about it. We're just reporting on what we've seen and found so far.
Yeah.
If unless you guys had anything else, I'll go ahead and show some of the footage, the best footage that I've found so far.
Oh, I think my phone just stopped recording.
Okay, so here we have an orb filmed by the ABC News 7. So we see this orb here that it looks like it's made out of energy almost.
That to me almost looks like a what was that planet that we had about 6 months ago? I want to say it was Mercury that was in the sky. You could see those can be very bright and even at daytime. But I don't think I've heard of any planets that should be visible in the last week or two.
Yeah, so I can find the footage of that again. ABC7 orb. I think because I think they found like they had a more closer up.
Wait, can you kind of drag it again? Just so I look like it. If you drag it, you can see it kind of move. If you see the frames, because
Yeah,
I didn't think it was moving. It does appear to be moving,
yeah, it's
just
moving.
very slowly.
I thought this looked whether or not you adhere to the Christian belief, the Christian faith.
Mhm.
I think it looks remarkably similar to the biblical angels.
Yeah, the Sheriffin, I think maybe.
Yeah, like here's a good image of one where you have
Yeah,
these rings with eyes on it. You can clearly see rings on this footage. They're moving around rapidly though.
yeah. Because there are a lot of different angels in the Bible, and they're described as multi-winged or having eyes or being a giant eye. There's different classes, types, species of angels discussed in the Bible if you actually read it through.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
multiple
we
different
have
types of angels.
and we have like ancient images of these angels going back millennia. So people have been like drawing these for thousands of years.
Yeah. Question is, have they always been there? Were they angels from the beginning?
Right.
Dylan, did you have any talking points that we hadn't gotten across? Or did we get everything you had?
Yeah, we went through everything I've had so far.
Okay.
The last
Zach,
thing
did you have any? Go ahead.
last thing I had was basically I don't know if this is related or not, but there's been reports of some municipalities in New Jersey that are dealing with discolored water that smells like toxic nail polish or turpentine, and the water utility insists it's safe to drink still.
Oh,
The only
lovely.
thing is, I don't know if that's related to ongoing drinking water issues because they've been having that in New Jersey since like 2020, or if that's a new development related to.
Is it? Do you have any visuals, pictures of it, or anything on that article?
No, I think it's pretty unconfirmed, but I
Well,
do have
this
this
map
news
here
story here.
says it all. People in nearly 70 New Jersey municipalities dealing with water that is discolored and it's smelly. But the water utility insists it's completely safe to drink. Still, some families told Christy Kalishian they're not ready to take a sip.
You have to like line up bottles here. And then
I don't get why water utilities and other utilities are always so quick to be like it's safe to drink, and then a couple weeks later you find out how like 50% of the people have went to the hospital. I'm like, if there's something in your water, don't tell people it's safe to drink
Yeah,
unless you actually 100% know that.
yeah, I remember the train derailment that led to a chemical release
Yeah.
a while back, and I remember the authorities being super like what's the word? They super like fishy about it, saying that everything's fine, go back to
Yeah.
your normal day.
They did eventually get like a fraction of what it would cost to clean it up, but I think it was estimated to cost like 10 times more than whatever they were eventually given.
American Water says
Yeah.
if it is discolored, run cold water out of the lowest level.
And I guess finally we have
5 minutes.
NASA, who jumped on the UAP bandwagon. They have a dedicated person responsible for research into UAPs.
Rather than later would be appreciated.
In Kenilworth, New Jersey, Christy Kalishian, CBS News, New York.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Just one person in all of NASA now.
I don't know. I'm just reading here.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to me that they didn't have a team in some way.
Right.
Like officially, Craig's in charge of that.
Yeah. And that's kind of all that I've found in the past week or so.
I think you did a pretty good job. Like I said, I didn't have much, so I definitely appreciate you carrying this episode.
My pleasure. I'm just a concerned citizen, and I think that we should all be looking into this a little bit more than we are,
Yeah.
and
Think
asking
it-
questions.
Yeah, and holding our government accountable to share the information they have to a safe extent. There is some information that probably you don't want most of the public to have, but whenever you're just like, "Oh, it's safe," we don't know what it is. It's not. You don't get. I don't get a lot of confidence from you.
Exactly. You know, we even had Trump coming out, and you pointed out in the last video that he came out and said, you know, the government knows what they are, and for some reason they don't want to share the information.
Yeah.
So
It's just odd that how they're. Because if you were just to say, we know what it is, but we cannot tell you what, like, if you were to say that, that's completely different than just doing what every single politician and everybody appearing on TV going, it's safe. We don't know what it is. We have no data on it, or we can't. Because those are two completely different things to say, neither of which are very helpful, but at least one's more transparent.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, I guess we're just still left with all these questions about what are these drones, what are these unidentified objects in our airspace, in what are these drones that or objects that seem to be above drone operational altitude. You know, the debate is continuing. Are these aliens? Are they government? Are they foreign, you know, countries?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
still
know, I
have
think I did
no idea
forget.
what they could possibly be.
Yeah, I mean, even our own representatives don't even know what they are. And did I already mention how there's an Iranian mothership carrying drones?
I don't think you mentioned that. Also, I feel like it's important that we also say this just in case, because there has been apparently during one interview, I know of one mayor at least, and maybe others saying that you should shoot them down. Don't do that for a multitude of laws. Even if it's just a regular like commercial drone that, let's say, Google's flying, if you shoot that down, it's FFA protected. You're getting multiple felonies. So, but just don't do that. Just a recommendation on my part.
Yeah.
Now, we're not allowed to. I just think we should be allowed to.
Well, the problem is with saying you should be able to shoot down a UAP is just because you don't know what it is doesn't mean traffic control doesn't know what it is. Because you don't technically in America own the air above your land.
Yep.
If the majority of the civilization don't know what something is, shoot it down. Like all these drones, shoot it down. If there is a giant balloon in the air that China sent and the military's like, we don't know what it is, shoot it down.
Okay, well, just don't shoot anything down with my weapons, okay?
You're the only
Yeah.
one with weapons in the house.
I'll let you stay on my bandwagon until I see a threat. That's how it's worked.
Okay,
right?
if the drone is threatening you, I give you permission. You
All
have to
right.
actually be threatened.
If it's
I
an
feel
Iranian
threatened.
drone, maybe we ought to be more worried. But we do have Iran actually just launched a drone mothership off the east coast of the United States.
Wait, are you saying Iran launched it, or it was sighted in Iran?
No, it was an Iran. Like Iran launched a mothership here. Here we have. I probably should have read this before.
Or I guess they saying it then.
Iran did launch this mothership, this drone
Okay.
mothership. So there's more, I guess, circumstantial evidence that it could be a foreign country.
So if that's a mothership, then there's a bunch of other ships that it controls from there, right? In other words,
Drones. that it
drones.
controls.
I believe the technical term is baby ships.
I like baby ships. So then it's all just coming from Iran. This is all an Iran thing. We have our answers. Shoot them down.
No,
I think we can Iran with that.
no. Once again, it's just circumstantial evidence, and I don't think there's any actual.
What website is this?
This is the Gateway Pundit.
.com.
I have no idea who they are. So there you guys go. If whether or not they're reputable, I don't know.